Hi, everybody. Welcome to our next guest speaker in MKT 365 eSports Marketing. Really excited to have our next guest, Mark Cruz, who is again, I got to get this right, Mark. You keep changing titles on me. Mark is the Senior Director of Brand Partnerships and Media Amplification at Xfinity. So welcome, Mark.
Thanks, JP. Good to see everybody.
Yeah. So Mark, I know you have you have sort of a series of slides that you want to show the students, but really excited to have you here because I know some of the work you've been doing in esports and sports in terms of how you develop sort of partnerships and branding and how you use these different properties to help your business.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll jump in. I'm a little under the weather, so I apologize to everybody. You may see me go off mute, so I'm not coughing in your ear. But just a little bit about me and my background. I've been at Comcast now for 8 total years. I actually started as a contractor at Comcast, then they hired me full time into a position on the brand partnerships team. So for the few years that I've been full time at Comcast, I've kind of been doing the same thing under brand partnerships, and I'll explain to you what that actually means. My background, I've been in college, working in college sports and marketing. I've done sponsorship sales. I've been an intern at the Philadelphia Eagles, which is actually where JP and I met many moons ago. I've done consulting work. I've worked for an agency. I've done work for clients like Miller Lite, clients obviously like Comcast and Xfinity. So what I would encourage everybody to just think about is what's the path you want to take. When I went to school, I didn't go to school for marketing. I actually went to school for like athletic training, like physical therapy, and then realized I needed to do like 4 or 5 years of med school, and that wasn't going to happen. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to graduate with this degree, and then what am I going to do? And that's when I started as an intern at the A10 conference, just, in general, like marketing and event management, and then corporate sponsorship sales. And that was able to parlay me into other opportunities that then kind of led me down the road to more of like brand management. And that's kind of where I currently sit. So let me share some slides with you all, and let's keep it also free flowing. So like, please feel free to stop me at any point and like ask questions. We can always go to questions at the end as well. All right. So obviously we're here to talk today specifically about gaming strategy, but a little bit about what I'll cover today is just overall about Xfinity brand partnerships, what we do and why we do them. And then I'd love to show you some examples of the things that we've done. One at the Super Bowl this past year in Phoenix. I think this actually might be the first public time I'm talking about our Xfinity branded map that we are developing within Fortnite. And then in 2 weeks, we're actually going to be breaking a world record in Las Vegas, and I'll kind of explain what that looks like. So we'll just talk generally about Xfinity brand partnerships. So our team within Comcast, there are many umbrellas and many teams and organizations within the company. I work specifically on the Xfinity brand. So there could be other teams that work on the Comcast business brand or under NBC, the Peacock brand. But I work specifically on Xfinity. And what our team covers is everything between sports, music, gaming is in there. We have a big partnership with NASCAR. We're a big sponsor of the Olympics as well. And so our job is to put the Xfinity brand in moments of popular culture. And what we know about those moments is that when people see us show up or people see our brand, they do start to build an affinity for who we are and what we offer. And so what we offer, if you're not familiar with us, video, internet, and mobile services. We're a connectivity brand. We like to say that our products help keep you connected to things that you love throughout the year. Or throughout your day. And so I have a video, which I hopefully will play well online, that kind of shows some of the examples of how our team puts our brand within moments of popular culture. So let's stop me if for some reason it's not playing.
Xfinity Kickoff Week.
Live from the Xfinity stage, the Jonas Brothers.
Race fans, are you ready? It is gone!
Xfinity customers, they can start playing Modern Warfare 2 sooner with Xfinity Rewards.
Thank you to Xfinity for having me.
I am the Miss Xfinity Rocks.
The Xfinity 10G cam giving you these pictures from Tidal Reddick. We're here with fandom at the Xfinity 10G Gaming Lounge on the ground in Phoenix, Arizona, where this weekend, it's the big game.
Bennett Chevrolet was as fast as Xfinity 10G.
What's up, Xfinity? Sending a little love from the big air event.
Pandora, Xfinity, thank you very much.
Today's first pitch through Xfinity Rewards.
Hi guys, it's Annie Agar here with Xfinity for the NFL Honors Red Carpet. Oh, that's my sister.
Hey Grace, George Kittle, San Francisco 49ers tight end. What's up?
Do you have a Super Bowl favorite?
Brianna. Xfinity's done so much for NASCAR. They're proud premier partner of NASCAR, and I'm a customer. I really enjoy the service. It's bulletproof.
Bridget is here. She has no clue that I'm here. She has no clue who's in the helmet.
Are you there?
Para darles la bienvenida a Football Connection desde nuestro estudio Xfinity.
Awesome to see Xfinity thanking their customers, providing unique opportunities.
Here comes the pressure. Hurts throws into the end zone. A.J. Brown, get out! This game.
Xfinity 10G.
Xfinity 10G. Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
I spoke into a remote and voila.
All right, so nobody stopped me. So hopefully that played well. You guys heard the sound and everything. It was all good? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. That's great. Let me get back here. So as I mentioned, we do a lot of work in all these different areas. Sports, music, gaming, and the real key for us is we want people to understand that we've got the most powerful network for internet and broadband, that we have reliable connections, and that we have the fastest speeds available in your area. Now, Xfinity is technically not a national brand, so think of Xfinity as servicing every major market in the United States, with the exception of New York, Los Angeles, and Dallas. Everywhere else in the United States, if it's pretty much one of the major media markets, is an Xfinity market. So we're the largest internet provider in the US, and everything we do from a brand perspective is to try to message to these heightened audiences within these cultural moments about who we are and what we provide. So we'll talk a little bit specifically about gaming. And I can't see everybody, but how many people are familiar with FaZe Clan? Pretty decent amount? Okay, yeah. Good. So FaZe Clan is one of our largest partners in the gaming space. And, I know this class is specifically about eSports. FaZe has a number of eSports teams, and they're super successful in eSports. But we actually don't partner with FaZe to sponsor their eSports teams. What we really like about FaZe Clan is, one, they're one of the largest gaming organizations in the world. And then two, they really sit at this intersection of gaming and entertainment. What we like to do in this like eSports and gaming space, we look at those two things as two very different verticals. There's a lot of people that could be into gaming, but actually don't really care that much about competitive eSports. While FaZe Clan has some teams and personalities within all of these different areas, we work with FaZe Clan and some of their key talent to help connect us to the gaming community that is interested in their content. So we're creating custom content series with them. We are tapping into some of their sports personalities that also rep FaZe, Bronny, Anthony Davis. We've done some stuff with Offset in music. And the latest thing that we did was actually with Don Toliver and some of the other FaZe Clan talent. So they've got incredible reach, not only in the US, but also global. And then what we also love about them is they keep really good company. They've got interesting partnerships with brands like Porsche, Marriott, McDonald's, Ralph Lauren, and a number of others. And we try to do some co-branding with some of these other sponsors as well when we go to activation. So I'll show you one more video of one of the things that we did this past year, which was really successful. We did 2 university targeted events. We did one in Atlanta and one in Boston. It featured some of the top FaZe talent. And then it also featured musical acts. Excuse me, the musical acts were local openers. And then the headliners were Trippie Redd in one event. And then the other event was actually Lil Yachty. And the idea was just, again, connecting university students with events and content that they want to see. You had the chance to like game with guys from FaZe before the concert. And then the concert was just like a really great culmination of the entire day and putting our brand in the forefront of all of those unique interactions and making sure, again, that students were thinking of us as a great option when they're thinking of products and services that they might need. So I'll play the video and I'll show you a little bit of what that looks like.
Yo, what is up, guys? We're here at the gig. Shout out to Xfinity for having us. We're about to listen to some great music.
Shout out Xfinity for throwing a free event because I got my ticket, you dig?
All right, y'all. I want you to make some noise for Jimmy Smoke and Nate Hill. Let's go. I need some energy. Let's go.
Good vibes, good people, big gamers. Best night ever, I swear.
So those events didn't happen on campus. Those events happened in music venues. Think of like the Fillmore or the Met here in Philadelphia. We rented those venues out. We created this event. We built a custom gaming lounge, which was like pre-concert interaction space, and then obviously held a number of things in the main area with musical performances on stage. All right, so let's chat about what we did at the Super Bowl, because this was really interesting. We built a gaming lounge. You saw a little bit of some of those clips in the sizzle, the first sizzle. And what we really wanted to do was create content that was contextually relevant. So obviously there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of brands that are activating around the Super Bowl, but we also know there's a lot of eyeballs on that entire week. So what we did was we built a gaming lounge, and then we invited NFL athletes plus other talent that we have like FaZe Clan to this house in Arizona, and we live streamed them gaming against each other in a couple different titles: Fortnite, Call of Duty, and then Madden. We created content at the house, and then pushed that content out not only through the live streams on Twitch, but then also through social. By getting people to view the content on social, we then had you wrapped into what we were calling a viewing audience. And then we were able to retarget that viewing audience afterwards in your social feeds with Xfinity 10G content. So the idea behind the full activation was we were launching the Xfinity 10G network, and we were building awareness for our new branding and campaign. So again, show you another video, which will do a lot better job at explaining exactly what we did.
We are here with fandom at the Xfinity 10G Gaming Lounge, where this weekend, it's the big game.
No matter what your style of gaming is, we got something for you here in the Xfinity Gaming Lounge.
I'm enjoying experiencing a new place.
We grew up here. It's always been love in Phoenix.
How are we playing this?
I'm playing the Eagles.
I was the most amazing gamer when the buttons were like 3 buttons.
Yeah.
Like A, B, and C.
Bro, what are you doing? You're not goodie, man. You got still form like that?
That's so fake. You're carrying us right now. You are only hope.
Hungry? Yeah, it's really. Wow.
Yeah, cut that.
An amazing weekend. Huge thank you to all of the NFL athletes who have come through, as well as all the folks from FaZe Clan.
We tried, bro.
She got it.
Oh, look at the sportsmanship.
We'll catch you next time. We are here.
Whoops. And then what's great about the lounge and the house is we actually did more than just gameplay. We actually had them sit down for some trivia and other ancillary content that we were also able to push out through social. Again, on social media, targeting people who have affinity for gaming, but also are just like generally want to see some things that are happening that are football related because it was Super Bowl weekend.
You ready? Let y'all fans know we mean business.
I'm Lucy.
And I'm Nick.
And we're here with fandom at the Xfinity 10G Gaming Lounge.
While we had our guests in the lounge, we put them through some rapid fire questions.
Let's do it.
First console you ever owned?
PlayStation.
PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2.
Ooh, PlayStation 2 for me.
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast, what year was that?
I was the most amazing gamer when the buttons were like 3 buttons.
Yeah,
like A, B, and C.
3DO.
Oh, wow.
Played a ton of N64.
GameCube.
Favorite video game character of all time?
I'm gonna be disrespecting somebody.
Ghost from Call of Duty.
Master Chief, Halo.
That's a good one.
Spider-Man.
Soap from
Soap McTavish.
Invoker.
Mortal Kombat, probably Raiden.
Yep.
And the big one, what's your favorite video game of all time?
MW3. I'm just going Apex right now. GTA San Andreas.
That's a great one.
That's a
God of War.
NCAA. You know, that's always a classic.
Probably Warcraft 3, Frozen Throne.
This is some very good answers.
I would also like to point out that's the fastest we've gotten through the rapid fire questions.
Well done.
Feels good.
So again, just an example of how as a brand we activate, and you notice like this is just broad gaming interest. We're not specifically talking about esports. We're not talking about competitive. We're here just looking at gaming as an area where people connect. They connect with their friends. It's friendly competition. It's not, you're not winning anything necessarily. You're not gaining big checks, but this is a way that we can connect with our core gaming audience. So, these types of activations have actually done really well for us. A couple weeks ago in Vegas, we were actually named the brand of the year for 2023 by the Tempest Awards. And, this is a big moment for us. We were up against some major brands, right? Ally, AT&T, State Farm, Progressive. All of those brands do a lot. They spend a lot and invest a lot in this space. And to be named brand of the year is huge for us and something that, again, these types of activations definitely help us create our case study. So let's talk a little bit about what's next for Xfinity. Again, this is the first time I think I'm talking about this publicly, but we are creating an Xfinity branded map within Fortnite. And why Fortnite? Well, if you look at all the numbers and even what's happening within the last couple weeks, Fortnite continues to be one of the most popular games in the world. And so our map with Xfinity City is going to be hopefully as a zombie horde mode. And essentially, Xfinity City is this utopia. So it's a great city, super clean, very modern, and it's got the best network in the world with the Xfinity 10G network. Zombies find out about it. If you're familiar with Fortnite, zombies is a very common enemy. The zombies are trying to take the network for themselves, and you as the player will be trying to save Xfinity City from the zombies. So here's just a couple screenshots. I do have like a speed run kind of map, but essentially there'll be multiple neighborhoods. There will be different objectives to each neighborhood as well. And while you go through the map, you'll be, seeing Xfinity branding and then some of our like subtle advertising that we have throughout each of the different areas. What we're really excited about is the Guinness World Record attempt. And so we just talked about Xfinity City. We actually are going to be partnering with the eSports Awards. The eSports Awards recognize some of the biggest names and creators in the esports and streaming space. So we'll have a branded award within the show. And then as soon as that show is over, we will jump to a live stream on Twitch where we're going to break a Guinness World Record. And that world record will be for the largest projected video game display. The current record holder is actually the NFL. They had a couple NFL athletes play Madden on a large display. This display, which will be on the side of Resorts World in Vegas, is actually double the size of the current world record holder. So the idea is that we'll be playing Xfinity City on the side of the building. And we just locked in some talent just this week, which we're really excited about. Unfortunately, I can't tell you exactly who they are yet, but I would just encourage you to, tune in, not only to the eSports Awards on November 30th, but also at 8 p.m., that Twitch live stream where we'll have these celebrities playing Xfinity City on the side of the building and then breaking this world record. And hopefully by the end of that, 30-minute stream, we can call ourselves record holders. So that's all I had for you guys today. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Hopefully that was helpful and gave you a little bit of insight in how, as a brand, Xfinity looks at the gaming space and how we connect with just general gaming consumers. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer whatever you have.
Yeah, Mark, thank you for sharing that. I think it's great. You showed some real examples and really showed the students of how you can be creative in this gaming space as a sponsor. How do you, at the end of the day, how do you measure success for these different initiatives?
Sure. Every initiative does have different metrics and KPIs. In general, every single month, we actually have surveys that go out to customers in our footprint, and we measure the health of our brand with them. So we ask them things like, how would you rate Xfinity's reliability against competitors? So they'll give us their opinion on Verizon, AT&T, even competitors like T-Mobile. And we'll be able to measure our brand health in different areas against competitors every single month. We can also cut that data by sports fans, NASCAR fans, gamers, all the areas that we specifically target through partnerships, and see how that's moving the needle. So that's a big key metric point for us. As I mentioned on things like the Super Bowl campaign, we had a very specific objective to build awareness for the launch of our 10G network. And so in social, we're looking at sentiment, just commentary. We're also looking at total number of impressions and plus video views, right? We want to know who's watching this content. How does that help contribute to hopefully the increases in brand health that we're seeing each month?
One of the topics we talked a little bit about in esports, in particular in the marketing side of it, is being authentic in the gaming space. And so how do you how do you walk that line with partnering and building awareness through gaming at the same time not being a walking billboard, so to speak?
Yeah, I think there's endemic brands and there's non-endemic, right? So endemic brands being like Asus, Logitech, any of the peripheral brands, and then non-endemic being brands like Bud Light or State Farm, which, them being in gaming, like there's not that exact tie-in. What we like to say is sometimes people would look at Xfinity as a non-endemic brand, but we are definitely endemic to the experience because without a good internet connection, like you are not connecting through gaming at all. And a lot of online gaming is happening. We're seeing the behavior trends in that area. So we have a right to be there. So as far as authenticity is concerned, we don't think we have an issue building authentic experiences. Our goal is actually to build them to make sure that they are things that people care about, right? So as a brand, we feel like, yes, of course, you probably would see an internet brand somewhere around gaming or esports. And then how are we building unique experiences to then connect you further to things that you love, in this example, gaming?
What question? I'm going to open it up to the panel. What questions do you have for Mark?
Questions or comments? I'd love to hear if you think this Fortnite map is like a total bust, but hopefully that thing's launching in the next couple of days, and hopefully we'll go off well.
I know you mentioned 3 key markets. I guess it was New York, Dallas, and I forget the other one.
Los Angeles. Yep.
Is there a reason that you guys aren't in those markets, or what's the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, good question. It's actually the way the cable industry has been built, right? So if you go into those markets, they are probably spectrum markets. And so as cable operators, we kind of have this agreement. We won't try to infiltrate your market because that is something that you've owned through history. Same thing, vice versa in our Xfinity markets. Now, what you will see is overbuilders. So you'll see, like in Philadelphia, you'll see Verizon, right? You can have Fios, but Fios isn't a cable operator, right? So you will have competitive options in our markets, but as far as cable operators are concerned that also then provide internet, we don't kind of overlap in those different areas.
Good question. Who else has a question? What do you guys got here?
Yeah, and if you don't have any questions now, obviously, we can connect through JP or others after the call. If you have questions that pop up, I'm happy to, reconnect with you guys as well.
Mark, one of the questions I had is, I know when we've spoken before, you guys were doing things with Xfinity rewards programs. Yeah. Are you still doing that?
We are. Yeah. So if any of you are off-campus students and have Xfinity, you're eligible for Xfinity rewards, and it's free to join. Doesn't cost you any money. You can just go to xfinity.com/rewards. And what we do with our gaming partnerships is we build opportunities within gaming to offer back to our customers. So, for example, we just had a really large Call of Duty launch around the beta about a month ago. So we offered all of Xfinity customers through rewards the chance to play the beta for free. Typically, to get access to the beta, I think you have to like put a deposit down either at retail or online to like buy the game. So we're eliminating that step or that barrier. And we're just saying, if you're an Xfinity customer, we'll give you a beta code. You can get in there and try it. So that was one big example that we just did with Call of Duty. We have Booga, former Fortnite World Cup champion. He's part of Team Xfinity. He reps our brand. We actually did like a signed jersey giveaway with Booga. We've done things like FaZe Clan loot drops where we've given away branded gaming chairs. We're about to launch a FaZe PC giveaway. So we're actually going to raffle off, I think it's 5 PC builds, which will be co-branded with us and FaZe. And that'll run as a sweepstakes through Xfinity Rewards. So it's still very much a priority for us. We've got about 7 million customers across the country that are enrolled in rewards, and we're continuing to build that base through different experiences, again, in a lot of these different areas: movies, sports, gaming, NASCAR, and those different opportunities.
One of the questions I think and one of the things we've talked a lot this semester is just the differences between traditional sort of what I would call sort of stick and ball sports and esports. What are you finding from a sponsorship side? What's the main difference, and what's the sort of the similarities that, when you look at sort of these partnerships?
I mean, everything has a purpose, right? So if you look at stick and ball, if you look at the audience that is interested in things like the NFL or MLB, it's actually an older audience, right? And that same older audience probably isn't into things like gaming. Gaming is probably a little bit closer to Gen Z and millennial when you look at the age demographic. So, again, as I mentioned, everything has its purpose, and we do reach different audiences through different partnerships. So that's how we activate in the space. I think it's very similar from a brand perspective. The way we think about it is, again, we're a connections brand. How do we bring you closer to the things that you love? And if you love NASCAR, we might execute that a little bit differently than we might if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan. And that might look a little differently than if you're a gamer, right? So we have these insights, these research insights that allow us to understand, what are these different fans or consumers looking for within the contextually relevant environment that we are reaching them in.
All right. Any other questions for Mark?
I got a question.
Yeah.
Do you have at Xfinity, do you guys have your own like production team for these live events, or do you just kind of like, if it's streaming on Twitch, do you let Twitch handle it? And if you do, how much different is it from like the production team of like a basketball game or a football game, if you know the answer to that?
Yeah, we have a team that manages production, but we don't have actual producers in-house. So we have a roster of probably 3 to 4 key agencies, and their expertise is in content production, right? We have an agency that is specifically managing all of our TV commercials. We have multiple agencies that actually work on TV commercials. So we have an agency that's specific on multicultural, one that's general market, but also might be producing things like online video that you would see if you were on Twitch or other websites. We do have a team in-house that then manages that production, briefs in the agencies to say, here's what our objective is, here's what the message is, and how do we best align to our product messaging that we are trying to push. So hopefully it answers your question.
I know you just launched the 10G, so I guess what's the basic pitch to your consumers of the difference between your guys' 10G and like competitors' 5G?
Yeah, another great question. So if you think of our competitors that message 5G, that could be T-Mobile or Verizon, they're really talking about like a cellular network, right? So they're talking about like your 5G speeds on your cell phone. When we talk about 10G, it's actually not about cellular. It's about the speeds that are coming into your home, right? So the launch of 10G essentially was like a branding of our network. our network today is not capable of 10G speeds, but we are building every single day and increasing bandwidth to all of our customers' homes so that we will be prepared for the increase in bandwidth that people are using on an everyday basis. Like if you think about how many connected devices do you guys have in your homes, dorm rooms, apartments, right? You've got a ton. You've got your laptop, you might have a smart TV, you've got your cell phone, and then you might have roommates. Roommates probably have that or more. And then if you think of families that have residential homes, then you've got kids, you've got your gaming console that's connected. You might have your Ring doorbell or camera that's connected to the internet. And so over time, as you see a lot of these internet connected devices increase within the home, you're obviously using much more bandwidth. And our network is built for the increase in that bandwidth year over year. So that's the main difference. Again, we're all about delivering you the fastest speeds, keeping a reliable connection so your internet doesn't go down, and then also just making sure that it's a strong signal anytime that you're online, and just keeping you connected to more of the content or more of the things that like you're doing on an everyday basis.
Thank you.
You bet.
Mark, I guess a lot of the students that are in this class this semester are sports marketing majors. So want to hopefully get involved in sports. Tell them a little bit about sort of what it's like to work on the sort of the client side of the business, and what do you enjoy about it?
Yeah, I mean, I love being on the client side. Very different than being on the agency side, I think. And it's not just because you get to direct things, but on the client side or the brand side, you do have a lot of creativity. You've got some liberties that you can push your agency partners on to help build the best experiences possible. What I love about it is, let's say if you were working at one team, like you might be working across a couple different partners, but like you're all about that one team. And it's a little bit of like tunnel vision, if I'm speaking candidly. Like when I worked at the Philadelphia Eagles, like it was cool in Philadelphia. People were like, oh man, I love the Eagles. Like, I can't believe you get to do that every day. The second you stepped outside of Philadelphia, people could care less, right? Like, I don't care about that team. Like, it's an NFL team. That's cool. But what I think I love about this is the chance to work not only on local partnerships, because we have about 60 plus deals across the footprint with NFL, MLB, NBA teams, but I also get to work on some of like these national initiatives. You've got that partnership with NASCAR. Listen, this is the first time our brand, to my knowledge, is breaking a world record. Like, you would have that opportunity if you worked on our business at an agency, but if you're working for someone like a team, that's probably pretty difficult to come across that opportunity, right? So I think there are positives and negatives to both. It's not all about the recognition. It definitely comes with its challenges. I think it looks sexier on paper than it actually is, but it also keeps my day like different every single week. So I think that's probably what I like the most about it.
Yeah. What's your typical day like? If you think of your sort of your day to day, what are you working on? Is it long-term projects? Is it sort of tactical, sort of, just execution of different initiatives? What are you sort of looking at?
Yeah, I mean, listen, everything that I showed you today in those videos obviously takes months and months of planning, right? So, and that's just stuff in the gaming side. I also oversee everything that we do in sports and music. And so from a daily perspective, I could be working on any one of those initiatives while also working on our long-term strategy. We're actually in the process of building what our sponsorship portfolio looks like in 2027, right? So we're looking 4 years out. We're basically saying, we know we're not going to have unlimited budget. So how do we take our sponsorship budget that we have today? How do we make the tough decisions to either stay with current partners or maybe move on and explore others? And how does that help us shape our local plus national portfolio in the year 2027? So we've got some big decisions coming up for us in the next couple of years. And so that's actually taken a lot of my time during the day as well.
Obviously Comcast being, Philadelphia is the headquarters and sort of you own sort of this market in Philadelphia. Are you guys looking at activating at things like the World Cup and like the MLB All-Star Game? Are you starting to look at that stuff? And, how far ahead do you sort of start that planning?
Yeah, all of that's on the radar. We've got Women's World Cup that's also coming back in 2026. That'll be US based. So we're excited about that. We've got an Olympics Games in 2028 that will be US based. So again, these are all, big things that we do have our eye on. Tough to say how much of our investment, or if we'll have investment to go big, because if you're familiar with FIFA, for example, that manages World Cup opportunities, I mean, you're talking about 8-figure, 9-figure investments across a couple different years, and candidly, that's not the type of budget that we're working with on our side. So we do have to be smart about it, but we do know that those are big audiences that we want to reach, that probably would be very open to connecting with our brand. And so those things are, again, on the radar, both in the short term and long term.
Gotcha. Okay.
I know you talked about planning for 2027. So I guess for the next 3 years, you already have your deals locked in place, or is that kind of how you're like when all your contracts expire? How does that work?
Yeah, good question. So whenever we do deals, we typically don't do a 1-year deal. We'll do multi-year. So it'll be 2 years or 3 years. And then the reason why 2027 is over the next couple of years, we have these contracts starting to roll off, right? So the decision-making of whether or not we renew a certain team partnership impacts what we can do down the line, because teams probably don't want to do 1-year deals either, right? Teams are like, look, I want to know I'm getting revenue coming in on sponsorships. I need you to be a company that we're going to invest in and build over time. So, if we make a decision next year that locks us into a 3-year deal, well, then that's money that we then can't reinvest or reallocate in 2027. And so over the next 3 years, we're looking at every single deal that's kind of like rolling off their term and saying, do we want to be back with that team? Or is that a team we might say, maybe we're overinvested in Philadelphia, right? Bad example because it's our home territory. So, there's a little bit of like protect your home turf. But let's say it's Boston, right? Maybe we're overinvested in Boston. If we cut one deal, we still have a pretty good presence. Would we be able to reallocate those dollars in Boston to maybe something a little bit more national in nature, right? That would help not only the Boston market, but then also all of the markets across our footprint. So those are the decisions we're making over the next couple of years.
And then quick follow-up. I know you said that you're not in LA, but isn't the Olympics going to be in LA? So how does that work?
Yeah. So, listen, we know because we're not a national brand, there's a little bit of waste, but we also know that there's eyeballs from all over the country that are going to be on the Olympics, as there always are, right? Even when they're in a different country. So investing in that space is still reaching the people that do live and reside in our markets and have our products and services. So while we might not be reaching the thousands of people that will be in Los Angeles physically, we have an opportunity to reach everybody else who's watching the Olympic Games from home. And that's the way that we kind of approach any of our partnerships, right? Philadelphia Eagles, for example. If you never make it to an Eagles game this season, how are we reaching you? Because you're either with your buddies at the bar watching the game or on your couch at home. How are we using the Philadelphia Eagles partnership to help reach all of those fans that aren't physically in the stadium?
Good question. Anybody else have a question for Mark?
So I was just curious, what do you think the benefit of doing the Fortnite map is going to be?
Yeah, so for us, there's a couple different things. One, it's going to open us up to a slightly different audience. I think Fortnite tends to trend younger, right? Our target audience through all of our different partnerships is essentially millennial. It's 18 to 34, right? But I think Fortnite actually opens us up a little bit to more of that Gen Z audience. And you'll get a little bit of crossover there as well. But I think one of the things, it's very much a test for us. We see a ton of other brands doing it, right? State Farm's got a map. Frank's Red Hot has a map. Doritos has a map. And we think if we can start laying the groundwork with that Gen Z audience now, it'll help us when they, enter into that 18-year-old age, or when they can be customers themselves. They might, again, go off to college. Maybe they are going to be living off campus and they have a choice to make for their internet provider. Hopefully that keeps us in the consideration set.
Mark, just I guess just a basic question. So, what advice would you have for students that want to get involved in gaming or in sports in terms of how, what types of career advice would you give?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, if you're not doing it now and you want to, I think it's just opening it up and figuring out, hey, where can I get some experience? I think in Philadelphia, it's really interesting. You've got Comcast Spectacor, which might not jump to mind, but they have venues that host gaming events, right? And so could that be an avenue? You've got Nerd Street, that actually just opened their headquarters a couple years ago down on Broad. So there are actually some gaming companies that are Philadelphia based that could help you in that area. And then, just keeping your networking skills fresh and just connecting with the folks that maybe are working in the industry, might be working for brands that invest in gaming. I think, again, if you're not doing it now and you want to, just trying to make those connections and keeping your eye on what opportunities could be out there. And honestly, listen, it's probably not a job, right? It's probably a volunteer opportunity, or it's probably an internship that might be unpaid. But especially in your undergrad years, is just making sure you kind of build that experience so that when the time comes, or when there's an opportunity with like a publisher, like an Activision, and that might be New York based or LA based, like you have that opportunity to lean on and say, hey, this is, something that I'm interested in and something that you can build on.
Great. Any other questions for Mark? All right. Well, Mark, well, again, maybe we'll end it a little bit early here, just to, again, we appreciate your time. And if anybody wants to follow up with you or get in touch with you, how should they do it? Is LinkedIn the best?
Yeah, LinkedIn's great. Yeah. Or, if they have your contact information, obviously they can reach out to you, and you and I can connect. But thanks for having me. Hopefully this was helpful and gave you some insights into some of the things that we do, but also the ways that any brand can kind of connect in this space.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I think, it really brings to life a lot of the things we've talked about this semester in class, and, bringing in a sponsor that's actually in the gaming space, I think was really important. And so we appreciate the opportunity, Mark, and we'll be in touch.
You got it. Good luck to everybody, and happy holidays.
Thanks. See ya.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.